Dark Shadows, number 9-66. VTR 62366, Air 7766, take 1.
My name is Victoria Winters. In the short time I've been here, Collinwood has made me a part of its strangeness. A strangeness that seems to reach out and touch everyone and everything that lives within its walls. For the past can be a prison, not only for me, but for others, for all those driven by fears of the future.
I'd like Mr. Devlin's room, please. Thank you. Hello, Burke. This is Bill Malloy. Well, I don't know if I'm fine or not. I want to come up to talk to you. That's right now. I'm in the...
Carol, can you answer the door?
Afternoon, Liz.
Bill?
Hope I'm not disturbing you.
I was just putting away some tea things.
Think they can wait? Got a few things I want to discuss.
Well, we've already talked this morning.
Liz, this is a lot more important than cleaning a teapot. Mind if I use your phone? You can look over these papers. They need your signatures. Just the usual contracts. Hello, this is Miss Malloy. Let me speak to my secretary, please. Alice, I'm at Mrs. Stoddard's place. Probably be here for another half hour or so if anything comes up. Right. I raised the price 5 cents a 100 cans of sardines, and they took it.
Is that why you came to see me? To talk about the price of sardines?
I manage a business for you, Liz. Have to keep you informed, not just sign them.
Bill, I could have signed these any time. You didn't have to make a special trip.
Might as well get them done.
It's about Burke Devlin, isn't it?
Hey up.
What's he up to?
I saw Burke last night. Did you know that?
Did you talk to him?
Yep.
Why didn't you tell me when you called this morning?
I wanted to think about it, Liz. Some of the things he said. Wanted to see him again. So I went to his hotel just before I come here. Called Burke on the house phone. He refused to see me.
Probably doesn't respect age and wisdom. Hello, Bill. How are things at the fish factory?
Swimming along, Princess, just swimming along.
Mother, did you call me?
A couple of minutes ago, dear, but it wasn't important.
Was it about Vicky? Did you talk to her?
Later, Carol, and not now. Bill and I have some business matters to discuss.
By the name of Burke Devlin. Tell me, Bill, what is this enemy of ours like?
Well, you ought to know, Princess. You met him.
Me?
Mm-hmm. At the Blue Whale last night. He told me he broke up a fight and sent you home.
Was that the man? I had no idea.
That was the man, Carol, and not please.
Oh, sure. You know, it's a funny thing. I've been hearing nothing but Burke Devlin's name around here for the past 2 days, until it's up to here. But with all of it, there's one thing no one ever mentioned.
What's that, Princess?
How good-looking he is.
Out, like your mother says.
Aye, aye, sir.
getting prettier every day. When are she and young Joe Haskell going to get married?
What about Burke? You said you saw him last night.
You ought to get her out of this house, Liz. The sooner the better, and you know it. It's bad enough you bury yourself, but a young girl like that living in this tomb.
Don't you think I know it? Don't you think I want her to leave?
Then do something about it. Liz, things are going to start happening in this house, I'm telling you. And that girl is going to see dreams, ghosts, that she never even knew existed.
There are no ghosts here.
You can say that? You who haven't set foot off this hill in 18 years?
That has nothing to do with it.
Every year that goes by, Liz, every year you hope the ghosts will be pushed further and further back until they're hidden so deep they don't matter no more. But a ghost won't die, Liz. And Burke Devlin's come back to Collinsport, and you ought to get that girl out of the house.
Burke can't do her any harm.
Maybe not, Liz. Maybe not. But when a man's set in prison as long as he did, and is filled with as much hate.
Burke went to prison because he committed a crime.
Did he?
Yes.
Are you saying you're not afraid of him?
Yes.
Liz, I like you. I think you're the greatest woman on the face of this earth.
Why? Because I'm not afraid of Burke Devlin?
Because you plant your feet firm on the deck when a gale blows. Because you hold your head up high and damn the devil. Because you don't know how to run scared. Well, Liz, we'll stop him. You and me. No matter what Burke tries to do.
Still keeping the door locked?
It's a habit.
And a good one around this place. Am I disturbing you?
No, I was just writing a letter.
Seems every time I pop in here, you're writing a letter. You must be loaded with friends back home.
I have a few. Did you want something special?
Did you know it's 100 feet from the edge of the cliff out there down to the water?
Carolyn.
Did you also know that 3 people have killed themselves by jumping off that cliff? There was Josette, the wife of the madman who built this place, and a couple of others. Come to think of it, they were governesses, just like you.
What are you trying to do? Frighten me again?
The legend goes, Miss Winters, that the body of a 3rd governess will be found, huddled and broken, at the foot of yonder cliff.
Thanks. Thanks a big bunch.
Just trying to bring you up to date so you'll have a few more stories for the kiddies when you go back to that foundling home of yours.
Now, just what makes you think I'm going back?
The way my mother came tearing up here to see you after you came back from town? Don't tell me she didn't fire you.
Nope, she didn't.
Even though you checked on her story? Well, Mother's slipping, Vicky. Unless she just intends to push you off that cliff someday.
I doubt that.
Oh, don't doubt anything around this place. That's the first warning I've ever given you. When the wind howls, the shutters creak, and the ghosts walk. Am I frightening you?
No.
Oh, Vicky, why can't I be as brave as you are? Oh, I can walk into a room and kid around and say, aye, aye, sir, to Bill Malloy. Smile a pretty smile. But, Vicky, it's all phony. All of it. Inside, I'm scared silly.
Of what?
I hate this place. I hate everything about it. But when I get the chance to leave, I just don't have the courage.
What chance?
Joe Haskell was here again today. Asked me to marry him for the umpteenth time. Vicky, I love Joe. But as soon as he mentions marriage, panic sets in. I start to shake.
Don't worry, you've got lots of time to think about marriage.
But I'm afraid it's not ever going to change, Vicky. And that's what I'm really afraid of. Just listen to me. Oh, cry on the shoulder, Carolyn. Well, turn me off or throw me out, will you?
Well, it's not very easy to do either one.
Oh, it's a cinch. Just talk about something else. Tell me about Burke Devlin. Greatest therapy in the world. From everything I've heard, he's about as different from Joe Haskell as anybody could be. I know you've only met him once, Vicky.
Now, that's not true. I saw him today. We had coffee together.
You did? Well, tell me about him. What's he really like?
I don't think he's really vicious, Liz. I mean, not basically. But he's a bitter man, and an angry one. And hungry.
And you think he's dangerous?
Liz, he was a hungry man 10 years ago, before all the trouble began. I think if he could, he would have grabbed the world 10 minutes after he was born.
I understand he's wealthy now.
It's in your head, Liz, whether you're wealthy enough. And the way I have him figured, until Burke Devlin owns the Collins fishing fleet and the Collins cannery and the Collins house, he's going to consider himself a poor man. And that's just what I think you're going to have to face. You expecting anyone, Liz?
No.
You want me to go with you?
Of course not, Bill. This is still my house.
Hello, this is Mr. Malloy again. Do you happen to know if Mr. Collins is there? Well, go ahead and check. I'll wait. Who was it?
No one?
What we heard? Okay, but if he comes in, ask him to call me. I'm at his sister's house, right. What do you mean, no one? I heard someone knock.
There was no one there, Bill. And one of my favorite teacups was shattered.
How'd that happen?
Poltergeist, of course. Evil, mischievous spirits. Collinwood is famous for its ghosts, you know. Except this one is 9 years old and is named David. This teacup was broken, and no one was at the door. And I'm delighted.
Liz, you're not making any sense.
It was David, not Burke. We both thought it was Burke, didn't we?
Well, yes.
All of your talk, Bill, about hungry men, ambitions, and all the rest of it. I suddenly realized I was terrified. When I heard that knock, for a moment, I didn't want to move.
Well, you were just surprised, that's all.
Frightened. I can't live that way, Bill. Burke Devlin is just a man who's come back to Collinsport. And I'm not going to worry, wonder, and plan until I'm sure, absolutely sure, that he means us no harm.
Are you saying you're not going to do anything?
I am going to be Elizabeth Collins Stoddard. And I'm not going to jump at every sound and tremble at every whisper.
You mean you're not going to do anything? You're just going to sit here and do nothing just the way you have for the last 18 years?
You better go back to the factory, Bill.
If you think I'm going to apologize for what I said, you're wrong. Liz, I've been worrying about you for so long, it's like a habit. And I don't want to see you trying to ignore Burke Devlin. Because I tell you, he's a dangerous man.
But he sounds marvelous. Oh, Vicky, I wish I'd been there with you.
Well, I wouldn't say marvelous is the word. He's charming and very direct and a little frightening.
In what way?
Well, we'd be talking, and he'd be telling me stories about when he used to live here in Collinsport. All the time, underneath, he'd be asking me questions.
About whom?
About your mother and your Uncle Roger, mostly about your uncle.
Did he ask about me?
No.
Are you sure?
Carolyn, why the sudden interest in Burke Devlin?
Why not? Mother's interested in him. Uncle Roger certainly is. From the minute you mentioned his name around this place, it was like someone had thrown a bomb. And maybe a good bomb is what we all need.
Carolyn.
It'd sure be a lot better than worrying about whether or not to marry Joe Haskell.
Carolyn, are you upstairs?
What is it, Mother?
Bill's leaving. He wants to see you before he goes.
I'll be right down. Vicky, do you know that Burke Devlin threatened to paddle me last night? I didn't even know it was him until just a minute ago. I bet he would have done it, too.
That's hardly a recommendation.
Maybe not. But a man like that is worth a second look, don't you think? If you'll finish your letter, I'll mail it in town for you.
Oh, come on. What's one more person? Well, she won't get in your way, and it'll be fun for Jenny. You stop worrying about money, her mother'll pay for the whole thing. I thought that'd settle it for you. I'll let you know as soon as I'm sure. All right, goodbye.
Well, take her.
You're wasting your time, Bill. She won't go.
Then it's up to you and me to talk her into it. Liz, you know it's the right thing to do.
Maybe you're right. Maybe she should go out of town, at least until... But I know she won't.
Well, why are you so all-fired sure about everything? It's a great trip. She'll see the country. What girl wouldn't
I
jump
know
at
my daughter.
Well, then where is she? I have to get back to the office.
All set?
Just about.
Don't worry about a stamp. I'll pick one up at the hotel. Hold the fort. And remember, stay away from the edge of that cliff.
Carolyn, what are you going to do?
Go to town. Pick up a few things, see a few friends. Why?
Why are you going to the hotel?
To get a stamp for your letter.
Are you sure that's the only reason?
What is this, Vicky? An inquisition?
Well, I don't want you to do anything foolish.
I'll try my best. See you.
Carolyn, wait a minute.
Now what?
Just wanted to get a stamp. Here. Now you won't have to go to the hotel at all.
Anything else?
Hey, Princess, a trip. And believe me, you'll really be doing my niece a favor. She's been planning this thing with her daughter for a long time, but she's been trying to get me to get someone to go along with her, you know, to keep her daughter company.
And to keep me far away from Collinsport. That's it, isn't it?
It's a wonderful chance for you, darling.
Who's chasing me? Burke Devlin?
I told you, Princess, it has nothing to do with anything but my niece and her
Whose
daughter.
idea was it, Bill? Yours or Mother's?
Does it matter, Carolyn?
Yes, because I'd like to know which one of you is scared to have me around now that Burke Devlin is in town.
Well, that has nothing to do with it. My niece just
You and
wants...
Mother have a big conference about Burke Devlin, and suddenly I'm offered a trip. Well, I'm not all that delicate, Bill, and no one has to wrap me in a cocoon and hide me away.
Well, what do you think you'll miss? The fireworks?
Bill.
Don't say it, Liz. Don't tell me again there's nothing wrong. It was my idea, Carolyn, because I know Devlin, and I know there'll be trouble. And I don't see anything wrong in trying to spare you some of it.
How do you know I can't help?
Oh, come on, Princess. You don't know anything about it.
Then maybe somebody ought to tell me. Because I think maybe I can help.
You're stubborn, Princess. Stubborn as your mother. I guess you were right, Liz. Can't do a thing with her.
Yes, you can. You can give me a lift into town. And don't worry about me, Mother. Remember, I was brought up in this house, and that makes me an expert at fighting goblins.
Goblins.
I'd like Mr. Devlin's room, please. Mr. Devlin? This is Carolyn Stoddard. That's right. I'm in the hotel lobby, and I was wondering if I could come up to see you.
Enjoy a refreshing new fun show, The Newlywed Game. Through a check and double-check system of questions and answers, attractive young couples find out how well they know their mates. Laughs come fast. Watch the premiere of The Newlywed Game Monday afternoon on ABC. Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.